Welcome to the Goob Show. Been a while since I did something live. This for my haters. Let's get into this show.
The plan, boss. Welcome to Fantasy Island. Fuck out of here, Fantasy Island ass niggas. Peep gang. Y'all niggas be cornballs, dick riders, clout chasers,
and I see right through you. You and you.
Fuck a cosigner, you dick riders, you weirdos,
and I see right through you.
That's why I stay away and do what I do. No slept on niggas now woke. And like Rakim, I ain't no motherfucking joke. There's a difference between fans and groupies. Niggas is weirdos like white folks licking dog food. You got some OGs compromising for the bag. They don't give a fuck who's an undercover fag. It is what it is, crap face. And these new niggas get 5 minutes of fame and think they're in the place. I see all those subliminals, but I don't respond to clowns. I'd rather tell you in a song, go sit your bitch ass down. Guaranteed this hurt you, then it hurt me. While you patrolling my page, y'all starting to look thirsty. Yeah. Got my stocks way up. I bet half of you fools thought a nigga would be washed up. But you couldn't have been wronger. Cause what don't kill a real nigga make them all y'all niggas be cornballs, dick riders, clout chasers,
and I see right through you. You and you.
Fuck a cosigner, you dick riders, you weirdos,
and I see right through you.
That's why I stay away and do what I do. I directly dismantle your whole molecular structure and flush that whack shit down the toilet. Fucking buster. Niggas IG hopping on Instagram. Well, like my post, turn around and like to post this to my fam. Silent competitor, smile on your face and talk shit. And the bitch you talking to got at a nigga real quick. Oh, is that what he said? I must be a threat to these niggas that wish a nigga dead. But I be laughing at you porch monkeys. Industry niggas act funny when they think they got his money. I'm on one, stay smashing. I gotta have it. I'm wetter than a pool in colors. Give me my bunny rap. And these niggas knew about Gucci long time ago, but wanna burn up this shit like they some fucking heroes. Different vote for different folks. I'm King Coca, but you the king of the niggas be cornballs, dick riders, clout chasers,
and I see right through you. You and you.
Fuck a cosigner, you dick riders, you weirdos,
and I see right through you.
That's why I stay away and do what I do.
That's why I stay away and do what I do. Welcome to the Goob Show. You know, we're finna get into some ancient technology. Open some minds. Try to go there. Shout out to my nigga G-Man. You have to shoot me out, shoot your cash. Nigga, you only won by 10 points. You know what I'm saying? If anybody knew about a Southside NCAA tournament, my nigga G-Man, Glenn Harris won that. He won his money. Shout out to him. Shout out Mr. 702. Shout out Black Dog. Before I get into this, man, I want to shoot out the niggas that's out there buying subscribers. And they get mad when a nigga call them out. A lot of motherfuckers on here, this is their life. YouTube. This is not my life. I don't care. I'm not here to make money off of it. If I do, I do. But I ain't gonna lie. And some of these niggas on the internet is lying. If you got the same amount of subscribers that I have, and then you do a live, my nigga, and it's 4,000 people in it, then you're lying to somebody. And that's how some people get on to. And so I can't do it because my wife's sitting in front of me. What? You did the paper. Hold on. You're fucking up my flow, dear. What is going on? Because I took the last things I got. DJ. Shout out Neighborhood Real in the house. But yeah, she threw me all off topic. But what I was getting at, if you got the same amount of subscribers that I have, and I'm subscribed to you, I've been subscribed to a lot of people. If people notice a lot of people don't have riches, might be mad or whatever. I'm eliminating that shit. I only fuck motherfuckers if I'm on their channel. If I go to their channel, I got a wrench on their channel, nigga, shout out to you. If you fuck with me for a long time, then you get a wrench. You know what I'm saying? Black Dog. I don't know. I can't see on the other side. If y'all have a wrench, Miss 702, y'all been fucking with me. If I took it away, I'll definitely give it back to y'all. Let me know, because I know y'all been fucking with me for years. I fuck with a whole lot of channels. And I keep it real on my side of it. But I used to be out there fucking with a whole bunch of channels that didn't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And I seen that, so I backed away. But there's one person I didn't even know I was still subscribed to. And I just happened to see that the nigga got the same amount of subscribers I do. But he doing the live, nigga got 4,000 motherfuckers in there. Somebody don't mind. And I just said, that's a joke. I'm just joking. Like, damn, nigga, hook me up. How can I get there? Because if anybody look at my thing, I'm at 1,000, been at 1,000, ain't growing. Not monetized, don't care. This is not my life. I have a life outside of YouTube. I only come on here to educate. That's all the fuck I'm on here for. And if I gain off that, letting people know about UFOs or ancient technology, and you can learn off that shit, nigga, that's my job. I don't care about that. But if I fuck with you and you got 4,000 motherfuckers, 4 times how many subscribers you got in your fucking channel, and I say, damn, hook me up. But nigga, you go berserk. This how you sound. And I don't know, back in the 80s, this is how niggas used to do this shit. But this how you sound, the way you was coming at me and knowing you lying. Nigga, you sound just like this. Let me get this off.
I thought that was special. I did, man. I know how he did. I've been accused of having sex with a girl I did not have sex with before. Let me tell you something. That shit is infuriating. You ever go through that? It'll make you crazy. You be screaming at your best friends. I didn't touch that bitch, nigga. I'll kill you. Fuck you, nigga. I'll kill you. Please believe me. Please believe me.
And that's how the nigga was going off on me. Believe him, nigga, and I know you lying. It's a whole bunch of people. This is their life on this YouTube. You want to gain fame off this shit and not making no money. It's another motherfucker out there. If you look, I forgot what it's called, Social Blade, Neighborhood Real can let me know if I'm on the correct thing. Well, you can look up a nigga channel. These niggas is out here lying to a whole lot of people to gain fame off YouTube. The people that's making money on this shit, they ain't talking about they making money. They quiet as kept. The niggas that's not making money, they blowing it up. They trying to do anything to gain fame on here. I'm not. But shout out to my nigga. Once more, I'm going to play this before I even get to my theme, just so I can send. Hopefully you're looking at it, your homeboy looking at it. A knockoff from where he originally from, that nigga there. Looking at it. Shout out to him too. Shout out to all those that have something to say about Goob, and Goob don't fuck with him. Goob don't fuck with because you niggas don't fuck with me. Who fucks me, I fuck with them on this YouTube thing. Why? Because I got a life outside of this. I got niggas that got love for me outside of this, not on this YouTube shit. I fuck with niggas that really fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to put this out because the people that wasn't in here at the beginning, before I get to this ancient technology, and I'm going to get off this bullshit, but this is out. Shout out to my nigga Cocaine because I hollered at him. This is his new music. Go subscribe to Buddy Boy Entertainment, Cocaine. This is his new album, Coca Stein. This is one of his new songs, Own It. And this is dedicated to you niggas on this YouTube with this bullshit. Let's play this shit again. Get into it.
The plan, boss. Welcome to Fantasy Island. Fuck out of here. Fantasy Island there, niggas. Big gang. Y'all niggas be cornballs, dick riders, clout chasers.
And I see right through you. You and you.
Fuck a cosigner, you dick riders, you weirdos.
And I see right through you.
That's why I stay away and do what I do. The most slept on niggas now woke. And like Rakim, I ain't no motherfucking joke. There's a difference between fans and groupies. Niggas is weirdos like white folks licking dog poop. You got some OGs compromising for the bag. They don't give a fuck who's an undercover fag. It is what it is, crap face. And these new niggas get 5 minutes of fame and think they're running the place. I see all those subliminals, but I don't respond to clowns. I'd rather tell you in a song, go sit your bitch ass down. Guaranteed this gon' hurt you, then it hurt me. While you patrolling my page, y'all starting to look thirsty. Yeah. Got my stocks way up. I bet half of you fools thought a nigga would be washed up. But you couldn't have been wronger. Cause what don't kill a real nigga make a motherfucker. Y'all niggas be cornballs, dick riders, clout chasers.
And I see right through you. You and you.
Fuck a cosigner, you dick riders, you weirdos.
And I see right through you.
Niggas see right through you. Dick riding ass niggas. You roll with the niggas that roll with you, nigga, even if you niggas are diss. That's the crazy thing about YouTube, homie. You allow a motherfucker to diss you on this motherfucker and you still cool with him, nigga. I'm not cool with nan motherfucker that diss me. Period, point blank, because I'm not gonna diss nobody. It's respect. I ask respect, I want it back. You diss, keep it moving. If this is what y'all gonna gain, this is what y'all gonna, you think you're gonna make paper off this? Man, the people that's really making paper is on that intelligent shit. Monique Hill, salute to you. But let's get into this, man. Like I say, when I talk about UFOs and I talk about things like that, I'm basically talking about technology that we do not have nowadays, that we can't replicate. We can't duplicate none of this shit that you're going to see in ancient Egypt. But let's get into this.
In ancient Egypt invites us to reconsider the narrative of human progress and the linear model of technological evolution. It raises profound questions about the transmission of knowledge, the potential for lost technologies, and the remarkable ingenuity of ancient civilizations. In this documentary, we will examine some of the most compelling cases of advanced ancient technology found in Egypt, delving into the evidence of sophisticated engineering, acoustics, and possibly even electricity. The Assyrian. The Assyrian, a monumental ancient structure in Abydos, approximately 350 miles south of the Great Pyramid of Giza, remains a subject.
What I want y'all to look at, and the first thing that you should notice is how big the concrete blocks are. I mean, if you cut it out of one big stone, or what did you move it there? And that's what they'll talk about. This is what was so fascinating about this first ancient technology monument in Egypt.
Of profound mystery and debate. Its architectural sophistication and unique characteristics have led some to speculate that it might be the product of a much older advanced ancient civilization, possessing technology far beyond what is traditionally attributed to the Egyptians of the Pharaonic era. One of the first puzzles the Osirian poses is its architectural design, which deviates significantly from the typical temple structure found in ancient Egypt. Unlike the linear, rectangular layout common to most Egyptian temples, the Osirian features a complex, L-shaped configuration. This anomaly raises questions about the intentions behind its design and construction. Further complicating matters is the Osirians' relationship with the Temple of Seti I, as it appears to predate the latter, suggesting it was a significant...
Now look at the solid block. This what really baffles me is how big these blocks are and how solid they are. How did they get them there? We can't even move any of these structures as we speak.
Site long before Seti I decided to build his temple adjacent to it. The sheer scale of the Osirian is breathtaking. Massive rose granite blocks, some weighing 100 tons, form the core of this structure. These colossal stones were quarried from Aswan, located a staggering 200 miles away. The logistical challenges involved in moving these massive blocks across such distances, only to be placed in a desert location several miles from the Nile, are monumental. The transportation and placement of these enormous blocks defy the capabilities attributed to ancient...
So where did we lose that technology? Where did we lose that ability to move stones like that? Because we got cranes right now. A crane just can't pick one of these blocks up. You're going to have straps. You're going to have chains. You're going to have everything. They didn't have that back then. So how the hell did they move this shit here?
Ancient Egyptians. The question then arises, how were these gigantic stones moved and precisely placed without any known evidence of advanced machinery? The architecture of the Osirian further fuels this enigma. The site, featuring a complex, double-layered roofing system and about a dozen chambers, showcases a level of architectural sophistication that seems out of reach for a civilization equipped with primitive tools. Such complexity, particularly the interlocking wedges and precision in stacking the massive blocks, suggests a level of engineering knowledge not typically associated with ancient Egypt. The use of granite, a material far more challenging to work with than the more commonly used limestone, indicates a technological prowess that the ancient Egyptians, as far as historical records show, did not possess. Another mystery of the site is that it lacks any Egyptian hieroglyphs, arts, or artifacts. Absolutely nothing can link this site to the ancient Egyptians. All throughout the history of Egypt, temples and monuments built by the Egyptians were regularly renovated, and with each renovation, additional artworks and hieroglyphs were added. Yet in the Osirian, we don't see anything like that. Furthermore, the Osirian's subterranean layout is highly unusual for Egyptian temple architecture. It is situated 15 feet below the ground level, a feature that is both unique and puzzling. Some researchers propose that this could be due to the temple being much older than the surrounding structures, possibly predating the sands and soil that have accumulated over millennia. There are also water erosion patterns found on the limestone enclosure around the site, which some researchers argue could only have occurred if the structure was built before the end of the last ice age, a time when the climate in the region was much wetter. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of the Osirian.
In other words, the shit was built underwater. That's basically what he's saying. It was before the ice age, so it was either under ice in Egypt or it was underwater. But this is going to baffle you right here about this water that's inside of it, in the desert.
Is its subterranean nature and the presence of water. Modern seismic technology has revealed that the structure extends at least 50 feet, or 15 meters below the current floor level, suggesting that what is visible today is merely the uppermost portion of a much larger construction. Moreover, seismic tests indicated the presence of hollow chambers within this depth. Just imagine what is hidden inside these underground chambers. Archaeologists still can't explore these depths due to the water that can't be pumped out as it constantly refills. The Osirian's hydraulic system is characterized by an intricate network of channels, basins, and possibly sluices, designed to control and manipulate the flow of water within the complex. The precision in the design and execution of these features indicates a deep understanding of hydraulic engineering principles, including water flow dynamics and pressure management. Comparative analysis with...
And think about that. If you think about what he's saying, I mean, that's 2,000 years ago or longer. 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago, because it was buried before they dug it up. They didn't even know it existed until they dug it up.
Known dynastic Egyptian technology reveals stark differences in the sophistication of water management techniques. While the Egyptians were skilled in utilizing the Nile for agriculture through basic irrigation canals and basins, the complexity and precision observed in the Osirian's hydraulics are unparalleled in other contemporaneous Egyptian works. This discrepancy raises questions about the origins of such advanced engineering knowledge, suggesting the involvement of a civilization with a higher degree of technological advancement than previously recognized. James Westerman, a researcher, historian, and archaeologist, has dedicated several decades to studying the mysteries of the Osirian. To study what's hidden beneath the water, Westerman decided to pump out the water with a powerful pump capable of removing 500 gallons of water per minute, which is around 1,900 liters. Shockingly, the water level continued to replenish itself at a rate that outpaced the pumping capacity. The source and mechanism of the water's...
So meaning, every time he pumped that shit out, the water kept coming back. Where was the water coming from? You in the desert. Is it coming all the way from the Nile River? So they must have an underground pumping system that goes all the way to the Nile River. And he already said at the beginning, the Nile River was some 20 miles away or so.
Emergence remained a mystery. In the words of Westerman, somehow water is emerging from inside this structure. That's unique. There shouldn't be water coming out of the desert, especially pressurized water. There's something strange going on there. In 2023, Westerman's team employed advanced technology that was able to monitor pressure, temperature, conductivity, and chemical properties of the water in the Osirian, and he compared the results with the surrounding wells in the area. Preliminary results showed that the water within the Osirian indeed possesses unique characteristics and came from a different source or pathway compared to the other local water sources. In his words, "I have determined through research that water flowing into the Osirian is different from ambient water at this location. The Osirian's water has a different chemical composition and isotropic profile. Why? The water is under pressure and flows into the Osirian as though it were being forced up through rock like a geyser, but water is not reaching the Osirian through bedrock. What is propelling it? My research so far indicates that the water in the Osirian is unique. It is not coming from the local aquifer or from the Nile River several miles away. Further scientific investigation will help me determine where it's coming from. Hydrologic studies show..."
So it ain't. I just made a mistake. It's not coming from the Nile River. So they've already investigated that and tried to find out, but they don't know where the water's coming from. A little suspicious.
That the water in the Osirian was drinkable, and after filtering it, Westerman started drinking the water, stating that it did not have any predominant taste. He continuously drank from the filtered water from the Assyrian, and after some time, something remarkable happened. He experienced an unexpected improvement in his eyesight, and although he has been nearsighted since he was a kid, after taking an eye test, it was determined he no longer needed glasses. Ever since, Westerman continues to drink this water, believing in its healing properties. Another anomaly about the
Shit, that might be some that somebody need to bottle up, make some money off that. If it's curing eyesight, what else could it cure? Because it's strange of where the water is coming from. So I would think that, but now that they don't put it on the internet, should be a lot of people trying to get to Egypt to get to that water and filter it out and drink it.
water was a strange temperature fluctuation that wasn't natural. It was as if something was heating the water beneath the Assyrian. The water surrounding the structure is measured at 16.9 degrees Celsius, or 62.5 degrees Fahrenheit, while remarkably, the water within the pipe registers at 23.8 degrees Celsius, or 74.8 degrees Fahrenheit. This presents a notable deviation, which seems to contravene the second law of thermodynamics, which states that heat cannot spontaneously transfer from a cooler to a warmer body. This suggests that some unknown force is warming the water inside the pipe, despite it being enveloped by cooler water. No one knows where and what is the source of the water, how it replenishes so quickly in the middle of the Egyptian desert, and what is the scale of the entire complex that is now underground. The Djed Pillar. The Djed Pillar and the Ankh are iconic symbols of ancient Egypt. While separated by thousands of years and vastly different cultural contexts, a comparison of the Djed Pillar and Tesla's technological innovations reveals a striking similarity. The Djed Pillar, with its distinctive appearance featuring a broad base, a column-like body, and multiple horizontal bars at the top, holds a revered place in ancient Egyptian mythology and iconography. It is often interpreted as a symbol of stability and regeneration, closely associated with the god Osiris. In the mythological and religious context of ancient...
If you know about Osiris, comes from the star within the Orion's belt. Osiris was supposed to be, or Sirius is the star that's behind it. However, Osiris was supposed to come from that star. Just
ancient Egypt, the Djed was a potent symbol of the enduring nature of life and the order of the universe. Comparing the Djed Pillar to Tesla's technology might seem far-fetched at first glance. However, the comparison becomes intriguing when considering the symbolic representation of energy and power in both contexts. The Djed Pillar, as a symbol of stability and regeneration, can be metaphorically linked to the concept of continuous energy flow and the perpetual cycle of life and renewal. Tesla's work, particularly his experimentation with wireless energy and electromagnetic fields, resonates with this idea of a continuous, omnipresent source of power. Some speculative theories suggest that the Djed Pillar could represent an ancient knowledge of electrical power or energy, drawing parallels to Tesla's vision of harnessing and distributing energy. These theories propose that the Djed, with its columnar shape and horizontal bars, bears a resemblance to components of electrical systems or devices used for energy transmission. Zayat el-Aryan. The mysterious site of Zayat el-Aryan, situated between the Giza Plateau and Abu Sur, has been a subject of considerable intrigue and speculation, particularly due to the fact that the Egyptian government restricted access to this site and completely buried it, denying any archaeological investigations. The only information we have about this incredible site is from Egyptologist Alessandro Barsanti, who investigated the site in the early 20th century before access to the site was completely restricted. The level of architectural sophistication evident at Zayed El Aryan has given rise to theories suggesting that it may have been built by a technologically advanced civilization, possibly predating the conventional timeline of ancient Egyptian history. The primary structure at Zayed El Aryan is often referred to as the unfinished pyramid. It consists of a square base measuring approximately 650 feet on each side, with a deep, T-shaped central shaft cut into the bedrock. This shaft, which descends about 100 feet below ground level, is an engineering marvel in itself, considering the hardness of the bedrock and the precision required to excavate such a structure. The precision and scale of this excavation pose significant questions about the tools and technologies available to the ancient Egyptians. The convention...
That's crazy, because right now we can't do that same digging. I mean, we have with what we have, but we don't have. They didn't have what we have now. They didn't have that then, as far as deep diggers, cranes. They had to have something else in their advanced technology. And that's the thing that you have to look at. What was their technology, what they used when they didn't have cranes? They didn't have what else would you use? Diggers to encore.
Understanding of Egyptian tool sets, primarily composed of copper and stone tools, seems inadequate to undertake such an ambitious and precise project. Theories suggesting that Zayed El Aryan was built by a technologically advanced civilization are fueled by several factors. Firstly, the precision of the excavation work is extraordinary, with the shaft's walls being almost perfectly vertical and smooth. This level of precision suggests the use of advanced surveying equipment and cutting tools, possibly hinting at a level of technological sophistication not yet acknowledged in ancient Egyptian history. The argument is further supported by the lack of any hieroglyphics or inscriptions at the site, which is unusual for Egyptian monumental structures and leaves the pyramid's purpose and the identity of its builders shrouded in mystery. The strange thing about the site was that the pit was intentionally filled with a tangled mass of heavy limestone blocks, hinting at a deliberate effort to conceal or protect whatever lay beneath. After excavating the limestone blocks with which the site was buried, Barsanti and his team found a massive foundation of pink granite blocks, which differed from the previously uncovered limestone blocks. One of these blocks was enormous, weighing around 30 tons. The discovery of this granite block, along with subsequent findings of more granite blocks and an enormous 30-ton pink granite block forming the foundation of a sort of pavement, led Barsanti to believe that he had found the entrance to a subterranean world, possibly filled with untold treasures or significant historical artifacts. One of the most remarkable discoveries at the Zayed El Aryan site was a large oval vat made of pink granite, polished like a mirror and intricately carved out of one of the pavement blocks. The vat's protection, involving a layer of lime and a thick bed of well-spread clay,
it's been a while.
suggests it held great importance, possibly containing something of value or significance. The side walls of the vat were lined with a black band, possibly the residue of some liquid, pointing to its use in a unique and unknown process. The vat's design and the evident efforts to preserve its integrity suggest it was an integral part of a sophisticated process, possibly related to energy generation or storage. During the excavation of the site by Barsanti and his team in 1905, a massive storm hit Egypt and the pit at Zayed El Aryan. The torrential rains filled the pit with over 10 feet of water. Incredibly, a few hours after the storm, the water level in the pit abruptly dropped. Surely, Barsanti asserted, this must be because the water was seeping down into some sort of subterranean chamber, into the hidden apartments he believed were waiting to be found beneath the pit. Between the weight of the blocks, the cement-like mortar, and the interlocking pattern, the work was the most difficult his team had ever undertaken. But to Barsanti, this only proved his point. Surely, whoever had constructed the site had gone to such great lengths to make the blocks of the floor unmovable, because they were meant to conceal a hiding place, something extremely important. Unfortunately, the work was so difficult that, again, Barsanti ran out of money before he could solve the mystery. Then World War I broke out, shutting the sites of Egypt down to further exploration. In 1917, Barsanti unexpectedly died at the age of 59. Rather than continue Barsanti's work, Egyptologists simply forgot about the site, leaving the mystery of what lay beneath it unsolved. The sudden restriction of access to the Zayed El Aryan site by the Egyptian government in the 1960s, just as interest in its mysteries was renewed, only deepens the intrigue. A military base now stands over the site, and no one can enter it. While definitive proof remains elusive, the architectural complexities and unexplained features of the Zayed El Aryan
So they know that something's buried underneath. If the military has taken over, it's the same thing I've been speaking on when it comes to Antarctica. There's a lot of military bases that they don't talk about that's over in Antarctica and what they're trying to hide over there. Same thing is what this, if they didn't finish excavating it, what is the military over it for?
Site, coupled with its proximity to the Great Pyramid, suggests that it may have been part of an advanced technological system for energy generation and distribution in ancient Egypt. The Saqqara bird. The Saqqara bird, an artifact found in 1898 within the confines of the Saqqara necropolis, has stirred the imagination and curiosity of many. This object, which is over 2,000 years old, is made of sycamore wood and measures about 14 centimeters or 5.5 inches in length. At first glance, it resembles a bird. However, upon closer examination, its features provoke speculation that it could represent something far more sophisticated, an ancient model of an aircraft. The artifact features a flat body, wings that are straight and aerodynamically shaped, and what appears to be a rudder or tail fin, characteristics that are strikingly similar to modern aircraft rather than the typical representations of birds in ancient Egyptian art. Unlike other avian figurines found from ancient Egypt, which typically emphasize detailed plumage and anatomical accuracy, the Saqqara bird has a vertical tail, a feature that is absent in depictions of birds but crucial in the design of aircraft for stability and control. But another crucial thing about this artifact is the place where it was found. Ancient Egyptians meticulously placed items within tombs for practical reasons, models of real-life objects intended to assist or transport the deceased in the afterlife. Given this context, the Saqqara bird's presence raises intriguing questions. Unlike the practical, everyday items typically found, an aircraft would serve a unique purpose, aligning with the belief that the dead ascended to the skies. Could this carving then represent a scale model of an actual ancient aircraft? The Saqqara bird's distinct vertical tail fin, absent in natural avian anatomy, hints at an understanding of stabilization mechanisms essential for flight. However, for true aerodynamic efficiency, a horizontal tail fin is critical, a feature the Saqqara bird does not possess. Or does it? Upon closer examination, we can see a series of marks, which many believe were where such a fin might have once been attached. Modern technological tools were used to simulate and test the aerodynamic properties of the Sakara bird.
And this is crazy. The Sakara bird, if y'all didn't hear, was found 2,000, 3,000 years ago in a tomb that probably was buried another 3,000-4,000 years before that. But whoever made this knew what they was making. This is what I say with ancient technology. When we see shit in the sky, we have to say, maybe that's from our past and telling us what our future may be. You know, I always look at that as like looking at the Terminator movie. You know what I'm saying? I believe that shit is true because of what I'm showing you in ancient technology in Egypt.
With a hypothetical horizontal tail fin through computer flight simulators. The results from this high-tech analysis were nothing short of astonishing. The Sakara bird, when modeled with a horizontal tail fin, exhibits remarkable gliding capabilities, adhering to principles of aerodynamics that weren't formally understood until the 19th century. This revelation suggests that the ancient Egyptians' conceptualization of flight could have been more advanced than previously acknowledged, presenting a design that, in some aspects, surpasses the initial models of modern gliders. The Serapeum of Saqqara. The Serapeum of Saqqara is an ancient Egyptian necropolis located near Cairo, which is renowned for its assemblage of massive granite boxes believed to be sarcophagi. These boxes, crafted with astonishing precision, have sparked considerable debate about their creation.
Now, if you look at that diagram and then you look at these boxes, you have to ask yourself, how did they get these boxes in these areas when you see what it took to make and how sophisticated they made these boxes? It's crazy.
The extraordinary craftsmanship evident in these granite boxes suggests the use of advanced technology far beyond what is traditionally attributed to the ancient Egyptians. Each box in the Serapeum of Saqqara is hewn from a single piece of granite, a material known for its extreme hardness. The boxes are enormous, with some weighing up to 70 tons, including the lid and base. This means that the blocks from which they were carved would have been weighing around 200 tons. The precision with which these boxes have been crafted is remarkable. Their corners are perfectly square, and the flat surfaces are exquisitely smooth, with an accuracy that rivals modern machining capabilities. This level of precision, achieved several millennia ago, is astounding and has led to the speculation that the ancient Egyptians had access to advanced technology, possibly lost to time. One of the most striking features of these boxes is their interior surfaces, which are equally precise and smooth as the exteriors. Achieving such accuracy on the inside of a stone box, particularly with the tools supposedly available at the time, seems impossible. The walls of the boxes are of uniform thickness, suggesting the use of sophisticated measuring and cutting equipment. This level of uniformity and precision in stonecraft is rarely.
If anybody's ever took an architectural class or anything, they're showing you the 90 degrees, how evenly 90 degrees that they cut inside these boxes, let alone outside the boxes. But this is stone granite, a big slab that somebody was able to cut so smooth. If you look at this picture that we're looking at right now, look how smooth the walls of this granite. First of all, how did they get them there? Second of all, if they were solid, how did you cut them? How did you make the coffin type top that obviously slides right on?
Found in other ancient Egyptian artifacts, leading to questions about the technology and methods used in their construction. Moreover, the process of hollowing out these massive granite blocks would have required significant understanding and control of stone-cutting techniques. The conventional tools of the ancient Egyptians, primarily made of copper, would have been inadequate for shaping such hard stone with the precision observed. This discrepancy has fueled theories suggesting that the builders of the Serapeum possessed advanced technological knowledge, potentially including high-speed drills, diamond-tipped cutting tools, or other sophisticated machinery. Another aspect that intrigues researchers is the purpose of these boxes. Traditionally believed to be sarcophagi for the burial of sacred Apis bulls, this explanation has been questioned due to the box's elaborate and precise construction, which seems excessive for mere burial purposes. Some theorists propose that these boxes were used for purposes that required precise dimensions and smooth surfaces, perhaps related to some form of energy manipulation or scientific process unknown to modern science. Additionally, the granite boxes also possess acoustic properties. The transportation and placement of these massive boxes are also subjects of wonder. The Serapeum's underground tunnels are narrow and winding, making the movement of such large objects a logistical challenge. Also, why are there no signs of torches, such as burn marks, anywhere in the Serapeum of Saqqara? What kind of lighting did they use to illuminate these underground spaces? In contrast to these theories, mainstream archaeology attributes the precision and craftsmanship of the granite boxes to the skill and patience of ancient craftsmen who, over generations, perfected their stone working techniques. Critics of the advanced technology theory argue that there is no direct archaeological evidence supporting the existence of machinery or tools sophisticated enough to create these boxes in ancient Egypt. Creating such precision in ancient times would have required not only advanced tools, but also a sophisticated understanding of engineering and geometry. The scale and precision of boxes.
They, basically saying, they asking the question, how did they do what they did? Do you know how much it would take for us to do it in our time? And this is 2024. We can do a whole lot with cell phones and TVs, making flat screens and all that, but can we build something like that and put them in the areas that these people put this back in those days? We can't do that shit. We can't do it.
In the Serapeum are not replicated in any modern granite quarries, indicating that the ancient Egyptians, or perhaps a pre-existing civilization, had access to technology and knowledge that are not yet fully understood. The schist disk. The schist disk is a remarkable artifact discovered in the ancient burial ground of Saqqara. The disk stands out due to its unique characteristics. Measuring approximately 2 to 2.5 feet in diameter, it exhibits a remarkable craftsmanship that has intrigued scholars. Its intricate design features a series of precise, concentric circular patterns with a central hub, reminiscent of a wheel or gear.
Hold on, y'all, check this out. I'll be right back. Oh,
in its makeup led many to suggest that it could be a remnant of a lost ancient technology or even part of an advanced mechanical device. The disk is notably composed of quartzite, a material known for its hardness, rated 7 out of 10 on the hardness scale. This fact alone has led to questions about its creation, as the dynastic Egyptians of the time are not believed to have had the technology to work with such hard materials. Mainstream historians say it was used for directing water. However, the three lobes featured by the disc are not angled in a way that would suggest a function in moving or directing water. Instead, it appears to have been part of a rotating mechanism around a central axis. The craftsmanship displayed in the disc is extraordinary, with thin blades or petals extending from the central hub, each uniformly shaped and symmetrically arranged. Adding to its enigmatic nature are the curious burn marks found on the disc. These marks have not been definitively explained, contributing to the overall mystery of the artifact and linking it even more to the theory that it was part of a larger mechanical device or machine. Some have hypothesized that it might have been part of an ancient timekeeping device, an astronomical instrument, or a piece of machinery used for unknown purposes. Other artifacts that some connect to the disc are these three pieces, which look very much like some sort of gear parts that were once part of a mechanical device. The speculation that the schist disc and these gear parts were a remnant of advanced technology is fueled by comparisons with artifacts from other ancient civilizations known for their engineering prowess. The intricate design of these pieces bears some resemblance to components found in later technological artifacts, such as the Antikythera mechanism, an ancient Greek device used for tracking celestial movements. This resemblance has led to theories suggesting a shared knowledge of mechanical engineering.
They was building shit back then for celestial, looking at the planets. That may be a product of it. I think just the wings in itself has more to do with a clock type structure.
Engineering among ancient civilizations, possibly hinting at a now lost advanced technological tradition. The Valley Temple of Khafre. The Valley Temple of Khafre, an integral component of the Giza Pyramid complex in Egypt, is a marvel of ancient engineering and architecture. This temple is among the best preserved ancient structures in Egypt, having remained nearly intact for thousands.
Look how big the blocks are. Where did they get to? I always say this when I look at structures with such big blocks. You have to ask yourself, how did they do that? How did they connect it? And each one is formally, they put together where it's smooth. You can't even put a piece of paper through it. How did they do that? Is it one solid block with just the lines cut in it? Or they individual blocks? If they individual blocks, how did they get them individual blocks put together so connected so evenly? That's just strange to me. Oh man, what the fuck did I do? Hold on. I messed up, y'all. Hold on. Let me get back to where I was.
And geometry. The scale and was the iron blade that was the supermassive stones are a whole.
Here we go.
Adding to its enigmatic nature are the curious burn marks found on the disc. These marks have not been definitively explained, contributing to the overall mystery. The Valley Temple of Khafre, an integral component of the Giza Pyramid complex in Egypt, is a marvel of ancient engineering and architecture. This temple is among the best preserved ancient structures in Egypt, having remained nearly intact for thousands of years, largely due to being buried under sand until the 19th century. Its construction exhibits a level of sophistication and precision that many argue could only have been achieved through the use of advanced technology. Constructed with massive blocks of limestone and red granite, some weighing over 150 tons, the temple showcases a level of engineering sophistication that is completely out of place. The supermassive stones are a hallmark of the temple's grandeur, raising questions about the methods used in their transportation and assembly. The Valley Temple's construction technique involving the precise fitting of massive stones without the use of mortar is awe-inspiring. The temple's walls are assembled with such precision that they resemble a complex three-dimensional jigsaw puzzle. The manipulation of these stones, with their various exposed surfaces, corners, and angles, shows a level of skill and understanding of stonecraft that is nothing short of extraordinary. In addition to that, the incredible bent stones in the interior present a compelling enigma, raising questions about the use of advanced technology in ancient
Look how
times.
that brick was curved.
These
Y'all see
stones,
that?
seamlessly integrated into the structure, appear as if they have been skillfully shaped or bent, defying the conventional understanding of ancient stonemasonry. This remarkable feat prompts us to question, how was it possible for ancient builders to manipulate such massive stones with such precision? Could there
Look
have
how
been
it's bent
advanced technologies
to
or
connect to the
lost
other.
methods at play, enabling them to shape these stones in ways that seem almost impossible with known tools of the era? One of the most intriguing aspects of the Valley Temple is a large black granite block on the internal eastern wall, which differs from the rest of the pink granite wall. Its placement and purpose remain a mystery, with some speculating it could mark an entrance to a subterranean passage. Despite common beliefs that the temple was used for the mummification process and purification of Pharaoh Khafre before his burial, there is a lack of concrete evidence supporting this claim. Some researchers examining the style of stonework suggest that the temple could be far older than what dynastic history indicates. The temple is devoid of paintings and inscriptions, a characteristic it shares with the pyramids. What shocked many was the Valley Temple's resemblance to structures found in distant lands, such as Peru. The similarity in design elements between the temple and sites like Ollantaytambo and the Coricancha Temple in Peru is uncanny, leading to speculation about the interconnectedness of these ancient civilizations. This resemblance has fueled debates about the possibility of a shared blueprint or knowledge among these distant cultures, a hypothesis that remains a tantalizing mystery. Research led by figures like John Anthony West, Robert Schoch, and Andrew Collins suggests that the Valley Temple, along with the Sphinx Temple, are among the oldest structures on the Giza Plateau, possibly over 10,000 years old. The dagger.
So who did that 10,000 years ago? The Egyptians did that, because then they lost that technology. Because I don't believe anybody's bending rocks now. So they lost that technology somewhere. Was it pre-them? And they took it, but as they said, it was buried under sand for thousands of years until they excavated it out and then found it. Like, what the fuck is this under the sand?
Of Tutankhamun. On November 26, 1922, a monumental moment in archaeological history unfolded as British archaeologist Howard Carter, accompanied by Lord Carnarvon, penetrated the sealed chambers of Pharaoh Tutankhamun's tomb. Untouched for millennia, the tomb was a treasure trove, brimming with golden artifacts and decorations. This discovery, one of the most significant archaeological finds to date, opened a window into the opulence and mystery of ancient Egypt. In another video of ours, we discussed in detail the strange death that followed everyone connected to this discovery, starting with Lord Carnarvon, who died 4 months after the discovery. In the following years, 7 members of the expedition died mysteriously, leading many to believe they were cursed. But let's get back to the artifacts found in the tomb. Among the myriad of treasures, the most intriguing was Tutankhamun's collection of daggers, particularly an iron dagger with a gold sheath and handle, discovered alongside the young pharaoh's mummified remains. This dagger, with its exquisite craftsmanship
Tutankhamun was strapped. They said that shit was on the side. He stayed strapped, huh?
An unusual material sparked intense interest and debate among historians and archaeologists. The golden sheath and handle were typical of the grandeur associated with Egyptian royalty, but it was the iron blade that was truly extraordinary. In an era dominated by bronze, the presence of iron, a material more precious than gold at the time, was an anomaly. The Egyptians, renowned for their work with copper, bronze, and gold, were not known for iron smelting, which became prevalent only in the first millennium BC, centuries after Tutankhamun's reign. The dagger's quality further deepened the mystery. It was later discovered that the dagger is actually made from a meteorite iron, which makes it even more extraordinary. How was such a sophisticated artifact produced? The Egyptians themselves attributed the dagger's origin to divine intervention, calling it a gift from the gods. This notion fuels speculation about the dagger being a product of a more advanced civilization, or perhaps an extraterrestrial gift. Mainstream Egyptologists confronted with this enigma proposed that the Egyptians simply extracted the iron from a meteorite that had fallen somewhere in Egypt. This theory, while plausible, has its shortcomings. Extracting metal from a meteoroid, especially in the Bronze Age, was beyond Egyptian capabilities. Moreover, meteoritic iron is scattered throughout the meteoroid, making extraction without advanced technology impossible. In 1994, X-ray fluorescence spectrometry analysis revealed that the dagger's blade was not ordinary meteoritic iron. The alloy was complex and durable, comprising 89% iron with significant amounts of nickel, cobalt, and chromium, a composition requiring advanced metallurgical skills, unavailable until much later in human history. The dagger's craftsmanship was equally baffling. It lacked any hammer marks, common in metalwork of the period, and its edges were exceptionally precise. This level of sophistication in metallurgy and craftsmanship seemed out of place in the context of Bronze Age Egypt. Intriguingly, Tutankhamun's tomb also housed other mysterious artifacts, like a breastplate adorned with a winged scarab made from an unusual yellow-green gemstone, initially thought to be chalcedony quartz. Later investigations revealed it to be desert glass, a material formed under extremely high temperatures. The presence of such material, alongside the iron dagger, added to the enigma of Tutankhamun's artifacts. The desert glass, first discovered in the Libyan desert, resembles trinitite, a type of glass formed during nuclear tests in New Mexico, suggesting extreme heat was involved in its creation. This discovery led to theories about ancient nuclear events or advanced ancient technologies capable of producing such heat, far beyond the known capabilities of Bronze Age civilizations. These findings compel us to reevaluate our understanding of ancient history. The technological sophistication evident in Tutankhamun's artifacts suggests knowledge and skills far surpassing what is historically attributed to ancient civilizations. Were these gifts from an advanced, perhaps extraterrestrial civilization, or remnants of a highly advanced yet lost human civilization? The Tanis
See, I think that's what they, when you go with the extraterrestrial or the ancient technology, they have to both coincide with each other. When I speak on extraterrestrial shit and I see shit that's in the sky that, okay, whatever getting to us, we can't get to it. A lot of people on this planet say we never been to the moon. Okay. So if we never been to the moon, let's go with that. Why is we still seeing shit in the sky that's getting to us? Whether you want to say it's military or whatever. Why ain't the government agreeing that it's military activity? This shit's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. When you look at some of the artifacts or that's been proposed in Egypt itself, ancient Egypt, before the Egyptians. Some of the Egyptians aren't even claiming half the shit that we're seeing now on this live.
Cataclysm. Tanis, an ancient city that once lay in the northeastern delta of the Nile in Egypt, is a site shrouded in mystery and intrigue. It was a thriving metropolis during various periods of the ancient Egyptian civilization. Despite its significant historical role, Tanis remained shrouded in obscurity until a team of French archaeologists unearthed it in 1939 after 12 years of meticulous excavation. The discovery revealed a scene of profound devastation. Massive statues, obelisks, and stone blocks, some originating from the Aswan quarry over 1,000 miles away, were found scattered and shattered. Among these ruins was a fragmented piece, believed to be once part of the largest statue ever created from a single piece of granite. The Colossi of Memnon are two massive stone statues located on the west bank of the Nile, near Luxor. They are about 60 feet tall.
I just think, how did they make that out of one piece of granite? That's a solid piece. That's not all put together. That's one solid piece of granite that they basically carved this figure into. Just make that make sense.
18 meters and are estimated to weigh around 720 tons.
Way too much. What's good?
Based on the size of the foot fragment found at Tanis, the full statue is believed to be double the size of the Colossi of Memnon, making it around 120 feet tall and weighing 1,400 tons. This led to pressing questions. How were these enormous stones transported over such distances, and what cataclysmic event could have caused such widespread destruction? Adding to the enigma of Tanis is its barren landscape, almost devoid of vegetation, a stark contrast to the surrounding delta's fertility. This peculiarity becomes more intriguing when considering Tanis's biblical identity as the city of Zoan. Biblical verses describe the destruction of Egyptian idols and the laying waste of Upper Egypt, including setting fire to Zoan.
If y'all just didn't see that, that passage was from Ezekiel. If you've never read Ezekiel in the Bible, for those that's religious like that, read about Ezekiel and Ezekiel's wheel. So when he speaks on, he's speaking in basically in extraterrestrial or ancient technology of advanced technology aspect of it, because he's one of the main people in the Bible that speaks on he's seen a wheel, and the wheel was extraterrestrial type. It's just not going to say that in the Bible.
Curiously, some of the granite stones at Tanis bear evidence of intense heat exposure, suggesting a catastrophic event involving extreme temperatures. The nature of the damage suggested an event of extraordinary power far beyond the capability of any known ancient human-made fires or traditional warfare techniques of the time. The colossal statues were blown away and scattered around the site, broken to pieces by the immense force. Archaeological excavations at Tanis have revealed that much of the city's remains were buried under 10 to 20 feet of soil, indicating that whatever caused the massive destruction also buried the site in the ground, completely erasing it from the face of the world. This pattern of destruction aligns with the theory of an external natural force wreaking havoc on the site, possibly a plasma ejection from the sun, as suggested by Dr. Shock. This catastrophic event might have not only vaporized any living beings in the area, but also dramatically altered the landscape, covering the ancient city with debris and soil. But the cataclysm symbolism of Tanis is not the only mystery of the site. The numerous obelisks, artifacts, and colossal statues, all made from granite, made many researchers like Brian Forster believe they were built using lost high technology. There are also numerous obliterated remains of obelisks at the site, more than any other location in Egypt. These obelisks were often theorized to be part of an energetic system, possibly linked to the pyramids of Giza. Perhaps some sort of malfunction in this energetic system caused the city's destruction. The unfinished obelisk at Aswan. This gigantic piece of granite lies in the southern part of Egypt, right next to the Nile River. It was left behind thousands of years ago in the Aswan quarries, abandoned due to a crack. It was never relocated or erected, although it was clearly meant to be. It measures an impressive 137 feet in length and weighs about 1,170 tons, which, if completed, would have made it the largest single stone monument ever created by the Egyptians. In Aswan, which is a city essentially perched on a giant granite outcrop, there are numerous features in the quarry that indicate the use of advanced technology that could manipulate the hard granite. For example, we can find strange, perfectly round holes, which some say are test holes to check the condition of the granite in the deeper layers before committing to cutting a huge obelisk. These strange holes are completely smooth, without any signs of chisels or tools. They look almost as if they were drilled with modern technology. One of these holes is enormous, almost 30 feet deep. Moreover, we can see perfectly straight vertical walls, which are very unusual considering their massive size and perfection. Some believe that this gigantic wall was made after an even larger obelisk block was extracted from the quarry. But how was this possible? What kind of technology could shape and cut hard granite in such a precise way? Moreover, how were the massive granite blocks and obelisks transported? If we go to the unfinished obelisk itself, we can find even stranger marks on the granite surface. The surface of this massive granite slab is adorned with smooth, hollowed-out areas, giving the appearance that the granite was scooped out from the obelisk. The term scoop actually comes from several researchers who study the structure and couldn't find a better explanation than this, saying that the rock seems to have been scooped out like a spoon would do with ice cream. Notably, the sides of the obelisk also exhibit these scooped out features, but in a vertical and almost uniform manner, extending from the sides of the...
You see that the lines on it is what they're saying. It does look like it was scooped out, basically all the sides around this big obelisk. One solid piece of granite, everything was scooped out around it.
Stone down to the ground, where they form straight lines. One of the most fascinating aspects can be observed at the base of another stone near the unfinished obelisk. This particular stone is almost completely scooped out at the base, leaving just a small portion of granite connected to its original location. The peculiar appearance of these features, unique and not seen in other Egyptian structures, poses a challenge to modern archaeology. But how does modern archaeology explain these scoop marks? The traditional narrative suggests that the obelisk, believed to have been commissioned during the time of Hatshepsut, was carved using diorite balls, which the ancient Egyptian workers are believed to have pounded against the obelisk to shape it. This theory sounds ridiculous, considering the test holes that are perfectly smooth, the perfectly flat walls, and the scoop marks that are all the same size. Even if we consider that it's possible to shape the granite block simply by pounding it with a diorite stone, there are areas with limited space around the obelisk that simply can't allow a worker to carry out such a vigorous pounding action effectively enough to produce noticeable results. The same goes for the test holes, with some of them being extremely narrow, clearly offering insufficient space for any pounding movements. Moreover, this ridiculous theory still doesn't explain how the Egyptians planned to have transported this colossal structure had it been completed. The obelisk is situated in a deep pit, and its extraction and transportation to its intended destination would have been an engineering feat of monumental proportions. Perhaps the unfinished obelisk was left here by a civilization that predated the dynastic Egyptians, a civilization that had the technology to manipulate the granite in such a way and be able to actually transport it to its designated place once it's finished.
That's where we go. And that's the first part of it. I've been on here for an hour. Appreciate everybody stopping through. Once again, for all those that you decide you want to buy subscribers, peace to you. Just don't lie to the rest of your content creators on this YouTube as if you're getting paid offline. Hey, this has been my show. I hope this educates you, man. This is the first part of our initiation into ancient technology in Egypt. Shout out to those that was talking to me about doing a show on Egypt and this ancient technology. But we're gonna get to the ancient technology that they found in Mexico, the ancient technology they found in Peru, the ancient technology that's in Antarctica and Hawaii that people are not talking about. Until then, until the next show, like I tell everybody, man, look up. You'll see something at some time. Stan, appreciate you stopping through. As I tell everybody, look up. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to come back with the second part of my ancient technology in Egypt. Hold on.
Directly dismantle your whole molecular. The plan, boss. Welcome to Fantasy Island. Fuck out of here, Fantasy Island ass niggas. Big gang. Y'all niggas be cornballs, dick riders, clout chasers.
And I see right through you. You and you.
Fuck a cosigner, you dick riders, you weirdos.
And I see right through you.
That's why I stay away and do what I do. The most slept on niggas now woke. And like Rakim, I ain't no motherfucking joke. There's a difference between fans and groupies. Niggas is weirdos like white folks licking dog food. You got some OGs compromising for the bag. They don't give a fuck who's an undercover fag. It is what it is, crap face. And these new niggas get 5 minutes of fame and think they're underplay. I see all those subliminals, but I don't respond. Clowns, I'd rather tell you in a song, go sit your bitch ass down. Guaranteed this gon' hurt you, then it hurt me. While you patrolling my page, I'm starting to look thirsty. Got my stock way up. I bet half of you fools thought a nigga would be washed up. But you couldn't have been wronger. Cause what don't kill a real nigga make them off. Y'all niggas be cornballs, dick riders, clout chasers.
And I see right through you. You and you.
Fuck a cosigner, you dick riders, you weirdos.
And I see right through you.
That's why I stay away and do what I do. I lyrically dismantle your whole molecular structure and flush that whack shit down the toilet. Fucking buster. Niggas IG hopping on Instagram. Well, like my post, turn around and like the post, this is my fam. Silent competitor, smiling your face and talk shit. And that bitch you talking to got at a nigga real quick. Oh, is that what he said? I must be a threat to these niggas that wish a nigga dead. But I be laughing at you sports monkeys. Industry niggas act funny when they think they got his money. I'm on one, stay smashing. I gotta have it. I'm wetter than the pool in colors. Give me my bunny rat. And these niggas knew about Gucci long time ago, but wanna burn up this shit like they some fucking heroes. Different strokes for different folks. I'm King Coca, but you the king of the niggas be cornballs, dick riders, cloud chasers,
And I see right through you. And you.
fuck a cosigner, you dick riders, you weirdo.
And I see right through you.
That's why I stay away and do what I do.
It's why I stay away and do what I do. We're going to get back into this. Second half of this. This is ancient technology in Egypt. You just have to check it out. You take your own personal experience of what you're seeing. If it's fake to you, man, say it's fake. But you have to understand the belief is that it's already there. Your belief should be that it's already there, and who put that shit there? Because we can't do it in today's technology and advancements that we have, even though we have computers, flat screen TVs, all this great technology we have, we still can't do what they did 20 or 30,000 years. So when I talk about UFOs, the reason that they coming to us is they enlightening us to let us know we're not the smartest thing in this galaxy, or whatever you may think, because they're here for a reason. But check this out.
Dendera light. The Dendera light is a fascinating topic steeped in mystery and intrigue, centering on the bas reliefs in the Hathor Temple at Dendera. These reliefs have sparked widespread speculation and debate about the possibility of ancient Egyptians having knowledge of electricity. The reliefs in question depict what some interpret as large, elongated objects reminiscent of light bulbs. Priests hold these objects aloft, with more miniature figures below them directing the light bulb upwards. Inside them are snake-like forms, which some suggest represent filaments. A two-armed jed pillar is also present. We already talked about the jed pillar and how it resembles components of electrical systems or devices used for energy transmission. On another bas relief, a peculiar device is depicted featuring lines extending from the object on the left side. Often likened to a necklace, it also bears resemblance to a stylized technological device. Should the interpretation of these lines as electrical wires hold true, then the spheres might actually represent insulators. This object appears to be connected to a type of battery, which in turn is linked to what seems to be a distribution mechanism. This setup echoes the circuitry designs.
So just think of that. Where did they get that technology 20, 30,000 years ago to make these? And then we went from that to what they say is the caveman striking fire on a rock. If you look at our technology now, we're only in 100 years of existence, or 200 years. If we go back to the train, what we had to train first, or we had to train before we had the plane. We had the plane before we had the car. But they were doing this shit without vehicles at all. Make that make sense. Where did it go? It just disappeared. And then we still can't, we haven't even advanced that much to do what they did 20, 30,000 years ago. Crazy. If you think about
vintage automobiles, particularly in petrol combustion engines, due to its simplicity and efficacy in facilitating continuous electric discharge. The hypothesis that these reliefs depict an ancient form of electrical lighting was popularized by Norwegian electrical engineer and Austrian authors Peter Krasa and Rainer Habeck. They published a book titled Light of the Pharaohs: High Technology and Electricity in Ancient Egypt. Walter Garn, another electrical engineer, even constructed a working model based on the Dendera light, supporting the theory. Many connect the Dendera light reliefs with the mysterious Baghdad batteries, a discovery that further fuels the debate about ancient civilizations and their potential knowledge of electricity. The Baghdad batteries, also known as the Parthian batteries, are a set of terracotta pots dating back to the Parthian or Sasanian periods. Each pot contained a copper cylinder that encased an iron rod, with the cylinder and rod not touching each other, filled with an acidic or alkaline substance, such as vinegar or lemon juice. These pots could have functioned as galvanic cells, essentially.
If y'all ain't heard about vinegar, vinegar is a cold deterrent. If you don't want to buy like weed killer, or the shit, maybe you have a dog that goes out of your yard. You got a gang of weeds, you putting that weed killer on. It'll fuck up your dog or fuck up your grass, all that. Nigga, try vinegar. And they're talking about that shit right now. Vinegar, I guess, is a conductor. I know it's a killer of weeds.
Early forms of batteries. Many researchers built prototypes of the Baghdad batteries, testing them for electricity, and stunningly, they discovered that the batteries produce low voltages of electricity, proving that the ancients did, in fact, have knowledge of this phenomenon. Secret entrances of the Sphinx. The Great Sphinx of Giza, standing an impressive 66 feet high and stretching 240 feet long, is a monument that captures the world's imagination like few others. Constructed from massive limestone blocks, some weighing up to 200 tons, it holds the title of the largest ancient sculpture in the world. Yet its grandeur is matched only by its mystery. To this day, the Sphinx's origins, purpose, and the secrets it may conceal remain a source of debate among historians and archaeologists.
Have y'all ever asked yourself, what did they make that shit for? What was the purpose? Your whole purpose in your life is to build a monument to what? To who? For who? And that don't even look like a human. That's not even a human. Unless it's a being that came down looking like that and had the ability to make that shit on our planet. But just think about that. Why would you make that? What was the purpose?
The Giza Plateau was known as Rostau, or the mouth of passages in ancient times. Does that mean that there really were passages beneath the complex? Passages leading to an underground city containing advanced technology. In the 5th century BCE, the famed Greek historian Herodotus wrote about an extensive underground labyrinth in Egypt, which housed a legendary hall of records containing ancient wisdom. Further accounts by notable historical figures like Strabo and Pliny the Elder in the 1st century supported these claims, describing an elaborate underground maze associated with the Sphinx and the pyramids. In the 4th century, Syrian philosopher Iamblichus wrote about a tunnel system beneath Giza, accessed through the Sphinx itself. According to his accounts, this entrance was once guarded by a bronze gate and led to the Great Pyramid.
Appreciate it, Stan.
In 1935, a significant discovery was made by Hamilton M. Wright and his team. During a massive clearing project in Giza, they uncovered what appeared to be a vast, ancient subway system beneath the Sphinx and the surrounding area.
I want to do some probably on another live. What gave people knowledge to even go dig some of these artifacts up or these historical areas? Was it buried in the sand and something was hanging out? They said, let's move all this sand away and see what the fuck is under. Because if you hear any story that's been told about these artifacts, they've all been buried underneath the sand. What made archaeologists or whoever that went to that area decide, I'm finna dig right here? And this is what we come over. Because a lot of this shit had to take 20, 30, 40 years to dig all that shit sand off to find this shit that's buried under the sand. And they continue to keep saying that.
This system included a series of shafts plunging over 125 feet deep, with expansive courts and side chambers. These findings suggested the existence of an underground city beneath the Giza Plateau, a hypothesis that sparked global interest. However, as quickly as they came to light, these stories receded from public attention, leading to speculations about the nature and implications of these discoveries. Why was such a groundbreaking discovery seemingly dismissed? The idea of a hidden underground network beneath the Sphinx was reignited in the early 1990s when a team led by Egyptologist John Anthony West and geologist Robert Schoch conducted seismic surveys around the Sphinx. Their studies revealed unexplained tunnels and chambers beneath the structure, suggesting that the ancient descriptions could have been more than mere legends.
We were not looking for structures under the Sphinx. I was actually looking for subsurface mineralogical changes, but we found some structures. Most importantly, we found a chamber under the left column.
These findings were both groundbreaking and controversial, proposing a complex subterranean world waiting to be explored. However, this wasn't the only staggering discovery made by John Anthony West and Robert Schoch. They examined the erosion patterns on the Sphinx and its surrounding enclosure walls, suggesting they were caused by the flow of water caused by heavy rains. But how was this possible considering the Giza Plateau is located in a desert? The climate of the Giza Plateau has been predominantly arid for the last 5,000 years, meaning that such water erosion would have had to occur during a time when the climate was much wetter in the region. This pushes the possible construction of the Sphinx back to a period before the Sahara became a desert, potentially as early as 7,000 to 9,000 BC, or even earlier.
Either this was a weird geological anomaly, or the Sphinx might go back to an earlier period. What we had ending the last ice age was huge climatic changes, which put a lot of moisture into the air, which came down as precipitation with huge thunderstorms, etc. And I think a lot of the erosion that we still see on the walls of the Sphinx enclosure go back to that period.
The proof that the Sphinx precedes dynastic Egypt by many thousands of years means there was, at some distant past, sophisticated civilization.
We cannot sensibly accept the...
See, so my question that I ask is, everybody will say there had to be a earlier civilization that had ancient technology, that had technology that we don't have today. Where did they go? What happened to them? And this planet is still here. So no matter what we think about this fucking planet, this planet is going to keep regurgitating itself, whether we're here or not, whether we get in a war and fuck it off with the nuclear type shit. That's why we're going to see more and more things in the sky if you look up. That's just my personal opinion. But you have to think, where did these people go that made this shit so many thousands of years ago? This shit just didn't come up natural. This just wasn't on this fucking planet. There's no way.
The insistence of Egyptologists that the Sphinx is just 4,500 years old.
The implications of this theory are profound, as it suggests that the Sphinx is several millennia older than the commonly accepted date. The traditional historical belief is that the Sphinx was built by the ancient Egyptians of the Old Kingdom during the reign of the pharaoh Khafre around 2500 BC. For this reason, the theories of Shak and West were met with skepticism and opposition, primarily from Dr. Zahi Hawass, the former Minister of State for Antiquities Affairs in Egypt. Hawass limited access to the Sphinx for further research and study, making it challenging for Shok and West to advance their theories or conduct more comprehensive investigations. Supporting Shak's assertions, archaeologist Sharif El Morsi, with over 2 decades of experience working on the Giza Plateau, proposes that the area was once submerged under a massive flood. El Morsi points to the temple site of Menkaure, which he believes was a former lagoon when sea levels were significantly higher, covering the necropolis, the Sphinx.
I mean, that would explain. I'll say this about this point of it, that a lot of that was ocean. If we look at the ocean now, some of the ocean bottom is going to be straight sand. But our planet is 80% water, 20% land, if you want to go with that. Maybe some of that has been dried up, but you still have to say 80% of our planet is water anyway. So why it couldn't have been 100% water millions of years? If that's to say, how did they build that shit? What built it under the water?
And the surrounding temples and monuments. The evidence, as El Morsi outlined, includes indications of tidal waves and an intertidal zone, suggesting that the Giza Plateau experienced significant flooding, peaking at about 75 meters above the current sea level. Moreover, the discovery of a fossilized echinoid within the limestone used to construct these monuments has fueled the debate. Some researchers argue that the echinoid is evidence of the limestone's ancient origins, dating back 30 million years. However, El Morsi counters this by suggesting that the echinoid was petrified in a more recent epoch, highlighting its near-perfect condition and gravitational positioning on the floor within the intertidal range of the hypothesized lagoon. Adding to the controversy, 2 Ukrainian scientists, Manichev and Parkhomenko.
I know that went over my head too. Whatever you just said on there, hypotheses and all that, it went over my head too.
Presented a study at the International Conference of Geoarchaeology and Archaeomineralogy in Sofia, positing that the Great Sphinx might be hundreds of thousands of years old. They cite clear indications of water erosion and base their hypothesis on geological studies of the Giza Plateau, asserting that the Sphinx had to have been submerged underwater for an extended period. The idea that the pyramids and the Sphinx could be remnants of a pre-flood civilization is not only confined to academic circles. The concept of a great flood, akin to the biblical story of Noah, is a recurring theme in numerous ancient texts and cultures worldwide. Renowned underwater archaeologist Robert Ballard's exploration in the Black Sea lends credence to the hypothesis of a catastrophic flood occurring around 5000 BC, aligning with some interpretations of Noah's flood. This global deluge narrative is shared across diverse cultures, from India to ancient Greece and North American Indian tribes, suggesting a collective memory of a significant and worldwide cataclysmic event. The implications of these theories are profound, suggesting that the history of human civilization might be far older and more complex.
Anybody thought when they heard that, could that be tsunami? A big enough earthquake on this planet back then that made such an enormous tsunami that it covered all the inner earth at that time, which we getting earthquakes in places that have never had earthquakes and don't know. I'm from California, been in a few of them. Motherfuckers in New York, they ain't been in a whole lot of them. But they're happening all across the country.
Than currently understood. If the Sphinx and the pyramids were indeed constructed by a civilization that predates traditional Egyptian history, it would not only revolutionize our understanding of human history, but also provide evidence of advanced technologies and societal structures existing in a time before what is commonly accepted. Granite boxes. We already mentioned the massive granite boxes of the Saqqara, but we are obliged to mention the many other fascinating and massive granite boxes found in Egypt. Each one of them exhibits details suggesting the use of some form of lost, ancient technology far beyond what has traditionally been understood or accepted. Take a look at this giant granite box displayed at the Cairo Museum. This box, significant yet not widely known, is believed to have been abandoned by the Egyptians due to a mistake in the cutting process. The irregular, slanted cut, deemed an error, led to the abandonment of this particular stone block. However, this apparent mistake inadvertently provides strong evidence of a sophisticated advanced tooling method, far surpassing the capabilities attributed to the ancient Egyptians. The cut extends deep into the hard granite, making it impossible to fit a chisel inside. The conventional theory, widely espoused by modern researchers, is that the ancient Egyptians used slow, primitive copper-based saws for cutting granite. Yet, this theory falls short when scrutinized. Trials replicating this method demonstrated an excruciatingly slow cutting rate of only 4 millimeters or 0.15 inches an hour. At such a slow pace, it is highly implausible that the artisans would not have noticed and corrected a deviation as significant as the one seen in the granite box. Where the cut should have continued, the stone has been marked with a groove. Even this mark is precise and smooth. Moreover, it appears the granite was cut from two sides simultaneously, most likely by two circular saws, with one cutting from above and one cutting from below. To see such a smooth and perfectly precise stone cutting, we have to assume that they were using some sort of sophisticated machine capable of rapidly cutting through granite.
And our biggest fucking granite cutting tool couldn't do whatever they did thousands and thousands of years ago. That shit's just I don't know, that's
we can
amazing.
also see precise saw marks in another granite box in the Cairo Museum, which is just a few steps away. The marks we see here look like the marks left by a type of saw, strikingly similar to a modern bandsaw, but with capabilities suggesting a much higher speed of operation. In contemporary terms, such an advanced cutting mechanism requires the use of diamonds, specifically a diamond-encrusted blade to slice through granite efficiently. The existence of such advanced
You see that? We have to use diamonds to cut that shit now. What they was doing back then to cut it that smooth, straight across, thousands of years ago.
tooling presents a historical anomaly. During the dynastic times of ancient Egypt, there is no recorded evidence of diamond technology or tools with diamond incrustations being used or even existing. Another strange box-like artifact is this one. On top of it, there are a series of circles that are perfectly smooth, most likely made with some sort of machine, as they are completely identical. On the side of the object, there are strange burn marks that left significant damage to the stone. The head of whatever caused this marks must have been immense. The exact purpose of this artifact is still unknown. This box, made from red granite, has even more spectacular marks. Not only is it perfectly hollowed out and shaped with precise right angles, but it also has these strange tube drill holes. These drill holes are exactly the same size, penetrating the granite at an intense depth. It's almost undeniable that these marks were made with an advanced machine rather than simple bronze tools.
Yeah.
And if this isn't enough to convince you, take a look at this granite artifact, which also exhibits tube drilling techniques. If you look closer, you can even see the spiral grooves on the piece. These grooves display uniform depth and spacing, and are evident in all the drilled holes of the artifact. Given that the holes intersect, the consistency of these grooves would be unlikely if they were the result of an abrasive slurry. Core 7 is a remarkable cylindrical piece of granite discovered near the Great Pyramids that is at least 4,500 years old. This ancient artifact is notable for its perfectly spaced, continuous spiral groove, reminiscent of a vinyl record's grooves. Such precision suggests a level of technology seemingly beyond the capabilities of ancient Egyptian civilization, known to possess only soft copper tools, inadequate for drilling into hard granite. The mystery deepens when considering the nature of the groove. Traditional Egyptian tools, like the bow drill, produced a distinct back-and-forth pattern, unlike the single continuous spiral found on Core 7. This pattern is more akin to the marks left by modern, rapidly rotating drills, suggesting a drilling method far advanced for its time. Modern machinery capable of creating a similar core operates at high speeds and often employs diamond tips, a material hard enough to penetrate granite. This raises the provocative question of whether ancient Egyptians might have had access to such advanced drilling techniques, potentially involving materials as hard as diamond.
So you keep saying ancient Egyptians, but weren't with whoever did this pre-Egyptian, is what I say. Hey, I've been on here for 2 hours. It's been fun. Check it out on the replay. You know what I'm saying? If it's interesting to you, hit that like button. First time on the channel, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate everybody stopping through. Monique, the wife, Black Dog, Dre Too Much, Miss Selmo 2, KCLs, Neighborhood Real. Appreciate all y'all stopping through. Till the next time, I'm out of here. Peace.